It's okay to not be perfect. We can't all be Marty Snyder. In fact, being imperfect has health benefits. Joy magnet Shari Alyse joining us now to explain. I'm just kidding. He's not totally perfect, Shari. But we do like to, I think, pick on our own selves. It's funny about our flaws. And when other people look at us and they don't even see them, or they see what we think as a flaw as something that's actually they like about us.
Absolutely. It's good to see you, first of all. And yeah, I mean, we're always our worst critics, right? I mean, we immediately point things out, like you said, and nobody else has even seen it. But this is often tied, perfectionism is often tied to, for a lot of people, to our self-worth. And we think that by being perfect, that people are going to say that we're okay, and you know, we feel validated.
Yeah, this was something I really struggled with in my teens and 20s. I do have to say that as I get older, it is so freeing to just let go a little bit of that need to make other people think I'm perfect, and just embrace the fact that we're all human. Most of us aren't even thinking about anybody else but ourselves anyway. So we're not all thinking, oh, he's thinking about me, he's thinking about me. It's like, no, we're all just busy thinking about ourselves and just trying to survive.
Exactly. And I got to say, you know, one of the reasons why I share and I teach about this is because this is what I've dealt with my entire life. And what I realized more than anything is that this constant striving to be perfect, like you never hit that bar. There's always something more that you need to do. And life just stops becoming fun.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's great to work towards goals, I think, right? To improve ourselves, or to improve our happiness or our contentment. But yeah, I also think sometimes it's kind of boring to be perfect, right? Like, don't you find that the more interesting people are the people who've kind of been through it all, and whether they're in it still or they've made it out to the other side, and they're honest about, you know, what it's been like?
Yeah, you know, as you said, there's nothing wrong with goals. Like, healthy striving is okay. And there's a difference between healthy striving and perfectionism. You know, healthy striving is focused on positive outcomes, whereas perfectionism, people are usually driven by fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of making mistakes. And that makes the entire process of doing anything grueling.
And then, Shari, what's one thing, if I could get a little personal with you, that you worked on to try and be perfect, be perfect, never felt like you got there? Something you maybe see as an imperfection that you've learned now to embrace?
Do we have more time?
30 minutes later. No, I'm just kidding.
No, one of the actual things that I had to deal with was about 15 years ago. I started getting hair loss, and it took me about 7 or 8 years to really start talking about it, to admit to it, and to wearing wigs. And that was really hard for me because I placed a lot of judgment around the way that I looked and the way that people perceived me, and I would no longer be whatever that was to others. And it was so stressful trying to hide this secret that one day I just decided on video, I had a big following, that I was going to take my wig off and share about it. And in that truth and my authenticity, it actually inspired people who came forward and talked about their secrets and the things that they're afraid of. So, you know, one of the things that imperfection does, embracing that, is it makes you more relatable.
I love that so much, Shari, and thank you for sharing that with us too, because I mean, that's not something you can control. It's not something you can change. What you can change, though, is how you see yourself, accept yourself, and how you share your experience with other people. And you chose to do that in such a positive way, and I think it just makes you even more relatable. And then other people see you and they're like, you're gorgeous, with or without, you know, a wig or whatever you choose to wear. Like, you're just a beautiful person. And I hope, a lot of times my hope, like especially for my daughters, is that they see themselves the way that I see them, the way that other people see them. And I think it's hard for us to see ourselves that way, and even just to take a compliment sometimes.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's really challenging because, especially with social media, there's all of these things that we feel that we have to live up to, all of these perfect images. And especially, you know, being with the pandemic and people being locked and at home and attached to our screens, it actually became worse. You know, it's on the rise, this perfectionism, and it leads to mental illness and mental issues. So it really is an important thing that I hope people realize, that